are back with another episode of the Daily Deuce. I am a familiar yet unfamiliar face, Dante Webster, here to fill in for the great Gary Graves today. Try to say that 3 times fast. And I will let my co-host here take it away.
Hey, you got me doing it now. Hey, Dante, thanks for sitting in today for Gary. Gary's on assignment with the NCAA tournament, so we wish him all the best. But hey, man, thanks for coming in today. We greatly appreciate you. We'd be remiss if we didn't say hello to our traffic cop, Mr. John Pitt. Hey, Pitt.
Hey, Dante, welcome back, man. How you been?
I've been good. It's always nice to join you all. I was confused because I was about to say, I don't know what the other bracket looking like, because I was going to say, well, Gary does Kentucky. Kentucky got knocked out. Ain't much to cover anymore.
Well, he does the women's side too. So
that's why I said I didn't know what the other tournament. That's why I said I didn't know what the other bracket looked like. So I made sure that I thought about that afterwards, because I was strictly thinking about the men, and I said, well, he's had a pretty clear slate since last week. Then they got bounced a while ago, but I guess the women are still in it for Kentucky.
Yeah, they play tonight against Michigan. The winner of the Louisville-Michigan game goes to the Final Four.
That isn't. The winner of the Louisville, you mean Louisville. Oh, okay. So Kentucky's not in it at all. It's Louisville. The Louisville women. Mm-hmm. Okay, got it. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm about to say the Kentucky women, I don't remember being that good at basketball. Not that they're bad, but they're not.
Hey, man, they were something this year. They upset South Carolina in the SEC tournament. And
that's nice.
They got a bid, but then they got a few problems now because their 3 starters just went to the transfer portal.
Oh, looks like they ain't gonna be that. Well, they can recruit. They got money. They'll figure it out. Somebody they got. Not to say that's the only reason. They'll figure it out. They'll always figure it out. But I see that you have on your Duke gear today, so that should get us started on the NCAA tournament, and that is one of the final 4 teams remaining right now. We have Duke, Villanova. Help me out. Duke, Villanova,
Kansas.
Who was the last one?
Duke, Villanova, Kansas, and a team from Chapel Hill that you dearly love called North Carolina.
UNC, that I used to like before I went to Maryland. Doesn't matter anymore. But yeah, okay. That, you know what? The reason why I don't remember that is because my Final Four was Gonzaga, Auburn, Arizona, and let's see, what was the last one here, just so I can get me a little.
Gonzaga, UCLA, Arizona, and Auburn.
Yeah, my national title game was Gonzaga and Auburn. None of this happened.
No, they're all sitting home with us.
Yeah, no, I chose so great. I did an awesome job with all my picks. Yeah, really, who would have thought that a 15 seed would get all the way to the Elite 8? Most people probably not. So, it worked out for everybody, I guess. But this has definitely been an interesting tournament. This is Coach K's last run. And so for Coach K's final farewell, his team has decided to play up to standard and at least get him to the Final Four. There was no Lehigh moment this year. They didn't get knocked out in the first round. Let us not forget that CJ McCollum sent the Duke Blue Devils packing years ago, but that did happen in those hideous brown uniforms. But they have managed to play up to expectation this year. They've had some of the best recruits in the nation. Those guys have been doing their thing. Paolo Banchero has been playing really, really well, increasing his draft stock. At this point, he's probably the highest rated player that's still going in the draft. Everybody else went home a little bit early. Chet Holmgren got some good run there. Everybody that had to play, well, I think Purdue had Jaden Ivey. He got knocked out by St. Peter's. So yeah, all of the top NBA prospects have gotten knocked out the tournament pretty early on. But how's everything been looking to you? How have you liked this year's tournament?
Dante, this year was really exciting. Well, every year is exciting. You sit and you quietly root for St. Peter's, who, as a 15th seed, took out Kentucky, took out Murray State, and took out Purdue. But the glass slipper did not fit yesterday, and it became midnight, and your Tar Heels took care of them. I mean, North Carolina had them the whole game. They were leading from the start to the finish. First 3 minutes, it was already 9-0. So I think reality set in yesterday. You've had some really great games. Auburn, the game Auburn played where they lost to Miami, nobody saw that coming. Miami went further than anybody ever thought they would go. Miami, matter of fact, won more games this year, 26, than they've ever won ever at the University of Miami. They looked good for a half yesterday against Kansas. Then reality set in. I'm gonna tell you something, man, and I'm not gonna knock Larranaga. He is a great coach, but they lost that game in the first 4 minutes of the second half. They scored 15 points the whole second half, and after they were up by 8 at halftime, and by the first time out they were down by 9. That's a 17-point swing, and they just didn't. They couldn't play with Kansas. Kansas really is a very good team. On that other bracket side, Villanova, that was an absolute slugfest when they played against Houston. I was hoping Houston would win, but they just didn't have enough offense, Dante. I mean, Houston is tough. And then Villanova beat Houston at Houston's game. They controlled the rebounds. They got all sorts of offensive rebounds, and Houston, they get a lot of second shots on their offensive end. So, and Houston could not shoot at all on Saturday. They played hard, they played rough, but they just didn't have enough to get it. And sadly, the kid Moore.
I was about to say Villanova's limping into the Final Four, though. That's their second leading scorer, second leading assist man. I think he's third in rebounds on the team. So you're gonna lose a big piece there. So that is gonna be very interesting in how they're going to be able to play without that one player. I think the thing that really threw me, not the thing that threw me off, but the thing that I noticed is with a lot of these Cinderella teams that make these runs, they can play some they can play some good games. But in the games when they finally lose, when they play against the better team, not to be me, when they play against a better team, when they look bad, oh my God, they look really bad. Like when St. Peter's lost yesterday, and I love everything that I think Shaheen Moore has been doing with them. And
Holloway.
Okay, my bad. Seemed like that would be my bad. Anyway, so it was Shaheen Holloway. Everything that he's done with them has been so cool. I like how calm and cool he is. He's the most soft-spoken head coach I've ever seen in college basketball or any other level, I believe. I don't think I've ever seen him yell. Like even when he does the post-game interviews, he's talking so cool and smooth and quiet. Yeah, when they played UNC yesterday and UNC finally showed why they were a Cinderella, because UNC looked like they had 5-star recruits, and St. Peter's looked like it finally looked like that was St. Peter's. It not in the mean way. It's one of those things where it was just like, that's why it's like always so interesting to me when you watch tournament every year. It's like, oh yeah, when you watch the Cinderella and they look really good and they're trying to run it up, yeah, they look really good. But then like when you have those years where Loyola finally loses, the game where they lose, oh my God, it's usually bad, because at that point you're like, oh wow, this has been not lucky, but I mean you all really have you played out of your minds. Like you literally had to play like a level or two above your standard just to even get that far. And so that's always like the interesting part to me. It's a sad story because you do like to see how far those type of teams can go. But then at the same time, if you're the television executives, you're probably sitting there and you're like, okay, thank God they're gone, because this is a television executive's dream with the Final Four that you have. You have Kansas, UNC, Duke, Villanova. 4 of the top 5 teams, I think, in terms of all-time NCAA wins. You can't really, you can't beat that. I mean, Temple, maybe one day they'll get back. I don't know. Can't say. But, it's one of those things where, that's the dream. That's the dream Final Four that you have right there. And you finally have UNC matching up with Duke. I personally want to see UNC win just because I think it would be funny. That's just it for me. I have no other.
Did you just say you think that'll be funny?
Yes. Hilarious.
Come on, man. This man, come on.
7 rings. What?
Come on. You've already messed up the man's farewell senior night. You messed that up. Yeah. So he didn't have a good senior night farewell at his last game at Cameron. And now you're going to mess up a Final Four too? Are you kidding me?
He's already won. You're acting like he's never won. It's not like, it's like, all right, now if this was like, just different sport, just different metaphor. If this was like Jim Kelly's last game and it was like, oh man, the Bills never won a Super Bowl. I want to see him win one. All right, I get that. That's important. He's already won. He's won a bunch with different squads across different decades. His greatness has transcended eras. It's not like he just won all of them with Christian Laettner. He's got a ring that he won with like the best player was like Nolan Smith. Like you've done it on multiple levels. Like not to say he's a bad player, but it's like you've done it in so many different ways. I think he was the best player on that team too. Like you've done it like, I mean, the Jahlil Okafor team, I think they won a national championship too. Like, I mean, he's won with so many different types of players across so many different years. I don't have a problem with, his last game being an L. I personally, why can't I root for Hubert Davis? Why can't I? Why can't I want that to happen?
That is going to be a terrible ending to see him lose like that, and to lose to Carolina again. No, Dante, no.
Well, he hasn't done it yet. He hasn't lost yet. He has the better team. He has the coaching edge in terms of experience. Not to say he's a better coach, because I don't want to put anybody down, but you got years of experience right there. He probably has the better staff. Well, I mean, he has every reason not to lose. So that's why when they lose, it's going to be funny. And all the kids are going to cry. He's going to cry. It's going to be hilarious to me. And, then that's what starts the John Shire.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you. I mean, Carolina's got a good team. I mean, what's the guy's name? He looks like Larry Bird. Bagnett, Brady Magnet, whatever.
Yeah, I can't remember his last name all the time.
Yeah, so he's tough. Bobcat, what's the other with the headband, the center?
Yesterday,
they have talent to match up with Carolina. To match up with Duke. It's not a slam dunk for Duke. But I'm just telling you, Dante, I'm telling you, this is a made-for-TV situation right here. You got them in the Final Four. What did I tell you yesterday? I sent you a text yesterday, and we were watching the game together. I said, I tell you what, I guarantee you if Carolina wins today, I guarantee you what the late game is going to be Saturday. What's the late game?
It's going to be Carolina and Duke. I'm not arguing with that. My only thing is, I think that a lot of America would also like it if Coach K's last game was a loss. The 90s haven't been forgotten. I'm just saying, hey, he's going to have to pay for his Christian Laettner stuff someday. Maybe it may be Saturday.
He's going to have to pay for what?
The Christian Laettner stuff at some point.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you know what? I know we got to move on to the next segment, but this may be a good freestyle for us, because we definitely sitting on different sides on this one, Dante. This may be something good to freestyle about.
Okay, we'll come back to this, says the person who would never let me step on a player that's laying on the ground and kick.
Oh my God. This is all I have to say to you, Mr. Webster. This is all I have to say to you.
Okay. Got it. We're not defending Grant Hill here. We're defending Christian Laettner. Oh my God. Anyway. Yeah, so the other thing that we've had going on over the past couple weeks, in addition to the NCAA tournament, this has been one of the most interesting NFL off seasons that I think we've ever seen. Like, usually, NFL off season, you'll have movement because of the size of the league, you'll have movement. But because of the way it works with, franchise tags, everything else that goes into it, and quarterbacks always getting extensions, you usually don't see too much movement in terms of like good players. Usually you just see movement in terms of like, a couple guys on the fringe here and there, but we've had some really big names move around all across the league. And we've seen a lot of that movement take place in the AFC. That is one thing that cannot be ignored. Some of the biggest moves that we've had recently. The Raiders added Devontae Adams, reuniting Derek Carr, I almost said David Carr, reuniting Derek Carr with Devontae Adams, his Fresno State brethren. We've seen the Chiefs trade Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins. That was one that I did not expect, didn't see that coming. That was one where I was looking on Twitter, and within 45 minutes, it went from serious talks to deal is done. He's not coming back. He is all the way in Miami. He's good to go now. Then we also saw Russell Wilson, Mr. Perennial Go Hawks, get traded to the Denver Broncos. Another one, not that I didn't see that one coming. I guess I didn't see Denver being the team that would get him, because I guess we'd all heard Denver and Aaron Rodgers, and then when the movement finally happens and it goes to Russell Wilson going there, that was an unexpected one. And even smaller, not a quarterback, but another big move. The Buffalo Bills just paid Von Miller, who looked like he probably may have been on his last leg all the way up until he got to the Rams and started playing in the postseason. Up until then, he wasn't looking too great. Not to say he was bad, but he wasn't the Von Miller of old. They just paid him about $70 million, I think. I think that's what the total for the contract is, to bring him into Buffalo. Not to say everybody does their own thing. And in the meantime, you have moves like Amari Cooper, who's still, I think Amari Cooper is younger than me. I think he's like 27. So he got traded for a 5th round pick. So you're seeing all this movement going on, and you're really learning what value is to teams these days, because some of these trades are amazing to me in terms of what people get back. Amari Cooper for just a 5th rounder, that's not as a Cowboys fan, just generally speaking, that seems absurd.
Well, you got a lot of moves going on. You and I talked a little bit about it last week. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to say this to you. The first thing I'm going to say to you and to John Pitt. I'm saying this to you all because you all are into that fantasy football league stuff.
Mhm.
So let me be clear to you right now, to both of you. Do not take Tyreek Hill. His numbers are going to go drastically down playing in Miami. I I congratulate him on the fact that he got paid.
Oh,
You and I talked about this the other day, Dante. He went and got money. Great. He's not going to get another ring. He's not going to get the yards. He's not going to get the touchdowns. He's not going to get the receptions. So I think what I said, and I'll say it again, sometimes in life you have to make decisions, not just in sports, but in life with a job. Are you going to go for the money, or are you going to go somewhere that you really enjoy? And I don't knock him. I respect what he did. He went and he got paid. I mean, how can you knock somebody that's going to get, like, what is it, $30 or $40 million a year, Dante? Something crazy.
Yeah,
he's getting more than Devontae Adams, right?
Yeah, I think he is. That was the whole thing. He wanted to get paid better than Devontae Adams.
Okay, so he's getting more. So he's the highest paid receiver in the NFL now. Fine. But also he has to understand you're going from Patrick Mahomes to Tua. I can't even say his last name. That's not going to be productive or helpful to get him his numbers that he's always gotten. Devontae Adams going to the Oakland, I still call them the Oakland Raiders. I'm showing my age, Dante. Going to the Las Vegas Raiders. He's back with Carr. I didn't realize, that he and Carr played together for Fresno State in college. I didn't realize that. So they're getting ready to hook back up again. We'll see. That AFC West is going to be really tough. I mean, they've all made some adjustments in their offense. The Raiders now got Devontae Adams. Kansas City, people are really thinking that Kansas City is slipping because they let Tyreek Hill get away. You see, now we're going to find out, was it the player or was it the system? I'm saying it was the system. I'm saying Andy Reid's system and Eric Bieniemy's system is still going to be successful. They got a deep threat from Green Bay. I can't think of the guy's name now. Sandler, Sensker, or something like that.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Yeah.
It's too long of a name.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. And he's going to be the deep threat. Is he going to be as fast as Tyreek Hill? Probably not, but he's going to be able to stretch the field. You're still going to have Randall Cobb there doing things underneath and in the slot. And I can't remember the other receiver.
Not Randall Cobb. You're thinking of Green. You're getting your teams conflated.
Didn't Green Bay have Randall Cobb last year?
Oh, you're talking about Kansas City Chiefs, though.
Oh, okay. You're right.
Travis Kelce's still there. Then they bought in Juju Smith-Schuster from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Thank you, Dante. There's an age showing up on me. There's that age showing up. I just went to another subject. Didn't even realize I did it. But Smith-Schuster's still there. Kelce's still there. That Kansas City team's still going to be tough. I say they still win the AFC West. Denver's going to put in Russell Wilson at a quarterback. That's going to be good. The defense is decent. They're not going to overtake Kansas City. Kansas City is still the best team in the West. Now, San Diego, or the Los Angeles Chargers, whatever you want to call them, they got Herbert. He's still a very good quarterback.
And Khalil Mack, too. Can't forget about they added Khalil Mack.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be tough. I think they're the second best team in the AFC. I think Kansas City, and then I see San Diego, the Chargers, and then I see the Raiders. The Broncos, I think, will be pulling up the rear. That's what I see over there. Now I can go to Green Bay, where I just got lost in the beginning until you pulled me back. I think Green Bay, they still have Cobb as a slot receiver. They're going to need some other things to help them out. I mean, it's really strange to me. You got Aaron Rodgers to re-sign, and Devontae Adams goes out the window. So they really have to figure some things out there. I just saw today that John Lynch said he's not going to trade, he's not going to release or trade Jimmy Garoppolo right now. So he's going to stay in San Francisco right now, which is, in my opinion, just my opinion, I think that's great for San Francisco. I don't think Trey Lance is ready to take over the team. That's just my opinion. So I think it's great they still got Garoppolo. I mean, he's limited in what he can do, but I'd rather go with him. And then you still got this hometown team here that thinks they have the next coming of Sonny Jurgensen now with Carson Wentz, the Washington Commanders. So we'll see what happens with them.
I mean, the sad but real part is this technically speaking, based on who he is, he's the most exciting quarterback they've had since Robert Griffith III's first year.
That may be true, but I would venture to say Carson Wentz has had some struggles. He's had some challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I would take Robert Griffin III, his first year, over this kid right now. I still say this, if Griffin doesn't get his knee torn up by Holy Nata in that Ravens game,
that's fair.
His whole story is written a different way. And I think he was doing really great things with the Washington team then. They made the playoffs. Shanahan, both of the Shanahans, they had taken a playbook and rewritten the whole playbook because this kid could not drop back in the pocket and throw. He was successful. And it's unfortunate how it ended for him. But I think it would have been different. He didn't get hurt. But I definitely think, after his first year compared to what Carson Wentz is, I take him every day. I take Robert Griffin III.
No, I'm about to say, well, yeah, and overall, yeah, I take if you're telling me I'll have like the first year RG3, that's fine. Now Carson Wentz, the biggest thing there with the whole what if Carson Wentz doesn't tear his ACL the year that they win the Super Bowl, he may have actually led the Eagles to the Super Bowl, and he was looking like an MVP candidate that year. So to give him his credit, we've seen him play at the highest level once. He hasn't done it since. So it is the question of, well, okay, what have you done for me lately? And last year, Indianapolis gets into the playoffs by beating the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were one of the worst teams in the NFL. Couldn't do it. Couldn't beat them. So that's what you did. And you had the best running back, no pressure on you. You barely have to throw. You were a running team. Everybody knows it. Can't stop it. So now you're going to Washington, where the pressure is going to be on you because Washington's run game isn't bad, but
it ain't good either.
Gibson's not Jonathan Taylor. Gibson's not bad, but he's not Jonathan Taylor. And you're going to have a revolving door. And maybe your receivers, Terry McLaurin is better than the best receiver on the Colts. That's fair. I can say that. Yeah, he's better than what T.Y. Hilton was last year. And he's better than, I think, Michael Pittman was the second best. So you have a decent little squad there. Washington, look, it's like this, man. Nobody wins the NFC East 2 years in a row, so Washington's in it. Every team in the NFC East is in it, in my personal opinion, because nobody wins twice in a row. So Washington is in it despite whatever's been happening.
Well, you gave me a segue into what, your favorite team, those Dallas Cowboys. They won't win it this year. I think Philadelphia wins the NFC East, Dante. I think Dallas goes back to like third.
I mean, well, what's his name? We won't have the turnover numbers this year. Last year we were all turnovers. We had one of the luckiest years in terms of turnovers. What's his name? I think I could beat him on a double move myself. Trayvon Diggs. I think I could.
Be careful, Dante.
I don't know. I think I may have one. I mean, clearly the thing in the league was you hit him with one double move, he gone. So I mean, I don't know, man. But if you're working on that, hey, man, there's hope, I guess. There's a lot of holes in Dallas. There's a lot of holes in the NFC altogether. The NFC East it's going to be interesting because it's going to be bad. I don't see any teams being really good. So I mean, Dallas is going to take a step back. Washington, maybe you get to the middle. New York, maybe they go to the middle. Philadelphia, you go as far as Jalen Hurts can throw. And I mean, well, let me rephrase that because he has an arm on him. You go as far as he can throw accurately, and still it's a challenge. So every team has kryptonite. Every team has an issue. So it'll be a war of attrition and just a battle of the weakest again. But we love football, and we had a lot of movement this offseason. It's going to be a good season. So that brings us to our favorite segment, our little freestyle segment here. And go ahead, tell me what you had on your mind regarding Christian Laettner. Let me hear what your thoughts were regarding Duke. And yeah.
Well, I just want to say this. One, I think you're a party pooper. That's the first thing I want to say about you, because this is an opportunity for a great ending to a great story for a great coach who is a great man.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Duke fan, but I want to see a positive ending, man. I don't want to see this go down and it not end. That's going to be sad. Now, you want to bring up something about Christian Laettner and back when they played against Kentucky in the East Regional Final, and Leitner accidentally stepped on a player. It was not on purpose. The player happened to fall down. Leitner was trying to get around him to make a play, and you still want to hold on to this, Dante. I mean, you were about what? How old were you then? 8, 9 years old? And
no, I wasn't that old either. I was young. I was a kid. When he would have did that, what year was that finals? What year was that? What year was that?
90?
Yeah, I was 8, 9 years old. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Let's see if you know how old I am. You just told me I was 8 or 9. I was no more than probably 2. Let's get it. First and foremost, I was 2 or 3. I wasn't that old.
You were sitting on my lap watching it with me.
Well, yeah, there you go. And we watched the guy step on another guy's stomach, but he stepped on him. Did he step around him?
No. He tried to get around him, but the guy was a little bit on the wide side on the ground. So wow. his ability to be agile did not allow him to go around the situation.
From what I know about walking, usually, when you're trying to walk, you'll put weight down, or you'll actually try to make a step. You don't just make a really quick motion, like what he did. I think what he did, he stepped on the guy, like he did a really quick, like he kind of kicked him while he was down. It's really what it was.
If I remember correctly, it was a quick step, and he realized it, and then he pulled back up, like almost like, excuse me.
Like, oh my God, it was an accident. Like he didn't see him land on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Christian Leitner he knows that he was a dirty guy in terms of that. I'm not saying he was completely.
Oh my goodness! How do you? Christian Leitner was a great college player. He's one of the top 5 college players of all time.
You got to think about that. Yeah, I guess so, because we had to really think about how long people stayed in college and what your game was in college. That's not hyperbole. I can get it. That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, we're looking at Lou Alcindor. We're looking at Bill Walton, David Thompson,
Tyler Hansbrough. Well, I tell you what.
Oh, whoa! What are you smoking over there? What's wrong with you, Tyler Hansbrough?
He wasn't he played 4 years. If you play 4 years,
he wasn't even one of the top 5 in North Carolina.
Okay, that's you're right. Michael Jordan played 3, didn't he? Yep. You actually.
Mike, keep in mind this: Michael Jordan was very good in college, but he was even that much better as a pro. Yeah, so I don't even put him in the top 5 as a college player. Bill Walton was totally dominant. Alcindor, which we know is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, was totally dominant. I don't know how much you've seen of David Thompson. David Thompson played at NC State in the 70s. And matter of fact, he is the one that they attribute the alley-oop to. He's the one that created the alley-oop. I mean, he was unbelievable.
But I was going to say, what's his name was a bad man in college too? Oscar Robertson.
That's fair enough. Oscar Robertson, yes. Oscar Robertson was a bad man. Bill Russell was a bad man in college.
There you go. Now, where does Christian Leitner? Who are you taking out for Christian Leitner?
Huh?
Who are you taking out for Christian Leitner? You name 5 players. Who are you taking out? There you go, right? Yeah, you got to take somebody out.
Who we say? We said Bill Walton, Alcindor.
Yep. Oh, wait. Bill Russell,
Alcindor.
Oh, never mind.
Bill Walton,
mm-hmm.
David Thompson, and you said Oscar Robertson. Now, if we just forgot somebody else is a really great college player. That's Wilt Chamberlain.
I was going to say, what about Wilt? So, you know what? Christian Leitner looks like he doesn't make the list.
He'll be in the top 10.
Oh, okay. I can give you that. You know what?
That's top 10.
That's fine.
Top 10.
He found like the top 10 like most hated Duke players. He's number 1. So I mean, that's cool.
You think he's number 1? You don't think JJ Redick would be number 1 as most hated Duke player?
JJ Redick never won a national championship.
I think he did.
Did he? Which team won a national championship?
Didn't he play with Jason Williams?
Nah, Jason Williams before him.
Oh, really? Now Jason Williams won 1. Leitner won 2.
Yeah, and then they had
the team. Who was on the team to beat Butler?
Wasn't JJ Redick. That was
the team. No, I know.
That was the team that had Nolan Smith. I think was the best.
Was that Nolan Smith? Because that was the team that had the guy that went to the Celtics, Hayward, Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
Butler,
So I don't think JJ Redick. People hate JJ Redick, but you never had to watch JJ Redick win everything. If you had to watch a player that you really hate win everything, it really takes you up in that hate rating. So that's why I say Christian Leitner. Everybody hated him, and he won. You know how bad it is when everybody hates you and you still win? That just makes it even worse.
I mean, Christian Leitner was a great college player. Now, as a pro, As a pro, he was a
serviceable guy.
But as a college, absolutely one of the best. And I still say this is a great moment coming up on Saturday night. You got a great game coming up. UNC against Duke, round 3. Yeah. Does UNC ruin another party? Does Duke move on to the national title game? Everything. I mean, can you imagine what the ratings are going to be for that, man? I mean, it's going to be unbelievable. Hey, by the way, your mother says you can come over for the game. You coming over?
You really put me on the spot. I don't even know what day the game is. What day is the game? I have to look at my schedule.
Saturday, Dante. Saturday.
Of course it is. Oh, I was going to say, you talk about these happy endings and, how this was so great for him. Yeah, it's only in movies. This isn't a movie. This is real life. You know what happens in real life? People lose. So you know what? He'll probably win, which is not sad, which is the part. He'll probably win, but I'm just saying, I'm impartial. If he wins, I have no problem with him winning. If he loses, I think every UNC fan is going to find it joyous, and I'm going to enjoy going online and looking at what they say and seeing how they put that crying Jordan face on him. Most likely, it's going to be crying Jordan face on him. Yeah, and he's a Duke guy. It's going to hurt him too. And you know what? I wish the best for him because, he has contributed a lot to the college game, and he did a lot with Team USA in terms of like the Redeem team and those type of things. Great coach. Nothing bad to say about him as a coach or anything like that. I just personally enjoy that plot twist at the very ending where he thought he was basically going to get awarded a championship. He'd get it handed to him. Not that, I know it's earned, but, he thinks, oh, it's my year. No, it's not. No, it's not your year. And if UNC doesn't do it, you never know. Those other two teams, Kansas can do it. Villanova, I don't think has the horses anymore. Kansas can though.
Yeah, Kansas can do it. But I say this, man, it's come too far. I didn't see Duke doing this after they lost to Carolina last game of the season. Hey, man, I can't see it any other way but Duke beating Carolina and then Duke beating Kansas and them cutting down the nets as a national champion. And Coach Krzyzewski, Coach K, rides off into the sunset as a champ. And you just say, hail to the Dukies.
I think he'll take his Final Four nets and go back home after Saturday. It'll be a long, quiet trip down Tobacco Road. But that this has been another episode of the Daily Deuce, and I'm the person that apparently just loves sadness. And my co-host over here is a better person than me. So excuse me. I'm sorry that I'm not cheering on America's hero right now. I'm Dante Webster, by the way.
Hey, and I'm John Webster. This has been another great show. Dante, hey, man, thank you so much for jumping in here today. John Pitt and I both will appreciate it. We love you. Thank you for all you do. For you fans out there, thank you for watching us. Thank you for joining us on another show. You all watch some sports this week. Have a good time. And if you get a chance on Saturday, watch Duke beat North Carolina. Take care. See you next week.